Welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Today it's time for a best-of-3 series of top-level Protoss versus Terran. And spotting here in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide, that's map number 1 in this series. Playing with the red Protoss probes from South Korea, we have PartinG. His opponent in the opposite corner with the blue Terran SCVs, likewise also from South Korea, and likewise also one of the very best. We're looking at Maru's main command center. I feel like I've given the exact same introduction in like my last half dozen or so StarCraft casts. Remember a couple weeks ago when I was saying that I wanted to cover a lot more pro gamers that were a little bit less known or maybe just below the tippity. Okay, look, whenever I can get my hands on replays of PartinG versus Maru, I gotta cast those, okay? You can't blame me for that. Especially Maru, he doesn't seem to participate in a whole lot of tournaments and stuff, so I am excited to figure out exactly what ends up going down in this particular best of 3. Now, my phone actually, this story is going somewhere, I promise. My phone sent me a reminder this morning, the Photos app, of a photograph that was taken during Home Story Cup 20, back in Berlin in Germany, late 2019. Basically the last StarCraft 2 offline event that I went to. So that is Pig on the left, me obviously in the center, and then PartinG on the right. So I got the notification this morning, I'm like, you know what? I gotta look myself, or I gotta look for a couple of PartinG games, because it's been a little while since I've covered the man on the YouTube channel, and then I came across this one. So anyways, really cool pictures. I really hope that soon, maybe later this year, we're gonna be able to continue with some of those offline events as well, because I'll be honest with you, man, I used to at the very least do a little bit more traveling, right? And that hasn't really been a thing recently, but I kind of miss it. Anyways, looks like we have a cheeky little pylon right over here in the center of the map. What exactly is the plan gonna be here, Mr. PartinG? Maru is scouting right now. He sees, okay,
command center upgrade complete.
That the command center upgrade is complete apparently, but also the fact that everything is looking relatively normal. Okay, he sees the lack of second gas geyser right there, and he also sees the lack of a second pylon. Obviously, you don't really know if the pylon is hidden somewhere else, right? It could be in the center of the map. Could be, I don't know, right over here, right? If you want to go for that Stargate shenanigans that we've seen quite a bit recently. Considering he's going up against PartinG though, and I think he may have actually just seen that probe as well. He probably knows, yeah. He probably knows that something is not quite right in this particular game. Alright, he's gonna find out that... Oh my... What? No! Okay, I was gonna say, that would've been crazy. I actually love what he's doing over there. Yeah, so a building structure doesn't have that much vision range. So right now, Maru has scouted it, but PartinG doesn't know that Maru has scouted it. Anyways, it's just gonna be a gateway over here. Well, I guess at this point he's realizing it. Anyways, yeah, there's gonna be just a single gateway there, so it's not that big of a commitment right here from PartinG, but this is very much so one of those strategies that allows you to be in charge of the pacing of the game, right? It's gonna put Maru in a very defensive position. Now, Maru right there, using the high ground. Nicely done. Maru, of course, by the way, like, probably the best defensive Terran player on the planet. I mean, the top-level Terrans all seem to be relatively close in skill level, right? Hard to say if, like, Clem is going to be better or Björn is going to... But there's no denying that Maru's track record with playing defensive games is insane. So he will know exactly what to do in these kind of scenarios. It's just that even when you know what to do, you still need to execute it really well, right? See, these Terran units in general, they die very easily, especially when they don't have any upgrades. All right, so that's quite a lot of adepts. He's going to have to lift that depot, very important. Pull the SCVs apparently away from the mineral line. Ooh. All right, that one will just barely stay alive as well. Siege tank is going to be coming up here soon. I think the only way you're going to get rid of those adepts at this point is by getting a siege tank on that high ground to try and shoot away at him. So far, no real damage has been dealt. Now, PartinG, of course, very well known for his micro, right? The guy's ridiculous when it comes to decision-making and just controlling his units. So even though the siege tank right now is out, a lot of SCVs are already being picked off as well. Are there going to be enough right now to repair this? No, it will go down, especially with the siege tank helping out right there with some collateral damage as well. And PartinG actually grabs himself a nice couple of kills, not gonna lie. So this is without Blink, obviously. It's without glaives or anything along those lines. It's just these units. It's just PartinG putting on a whole lot of pressure to try and, yeah, keep this Terran player occupied. I think losing the Adepts is fine. I don't think you want to lose the Stalkers, though. You're gonna have to lift that. I think you're gonna have to lift that, my man. Hello. Is he... Okay. I was gonna say, that seems a little bit ridiculous. Obviously, those units, yep, they can always be recalled. And, well, Jimmy and his crew right there walk onto the corner of the natural expansion, only to find out that the units have already teleported all the way back home. Blink does start up right here. Where's the Twilight? Oh, there it is. Blink does start up right here. Third Nexus has started up as well. And PartinG, obviously, because he's farting, is once more sending the units that he just recalled towards the other side of the map. This is kind of his thing, right? I feel like PartinG is one of the worst players to go up against if you're a Terran player, especially. This guy's just always in your face. Where, like, other Protoss players would now keep those units at home. PartinG is like, nah, Widowmine dropped, Medevac drops. I don't really care. I'm just gonna, like, send my units towards the other side of the map. And if they know that my units are on the other side of the map, they're gonna have to keep their units at home, because otherwise I'll go kill them. It's just very difficult to micro against this kind of army. Blink is coming up. He does have a couple of Stalkers here at home as well to defend. But Blink is coming up. Robo Facility comes up as well, so I think he's gonna be able to blink into the main base when he gets that high ground vision, right? That's one of the things that PartinG is very fond of. Anyways, let's have a look at what Maru is going up, or what he's going for right now. So double NG Bay here. Should be going for the stim pack and the combat shield and whatnot very soon as well. Third CC already halfway done. Okay, I like it. It just means, though, that he's not going to have a whole lot of tech available. And in general, his units aren't going to be that powerful. Oh, alright, that's a bit of a misclick, although... is it? I think that siege tank may have actually just killed like 3 Marines there. I don't know exactly how many Marines fell. I think that was a accidental cancel there, but it may have actually been intended because that adept doesn't really... Yeah, it doesn't really serve much of a purpose anymore. Alright, so there's the Observer. Obviously the Detector, but also something that gives you that high ground vision. So if you want to, you can blink those Stalkers into the main base. Maru at this point completely unaware of what's going on the other side of the map. Terran players in general don't really seem to care about that as much. They're just, you know, he's playing like a single player mission right now where it says survive for 15 minutes and then you'll probably be okay. He's playing the campaign missions right now where you just have to hold on. And it's fair enough, right? As long as you have the third CC, you can make yourself a pretty massive army. Blinking into the main base right now, though, is a little bit of a dangerous move. Okay. Third base does get spotted. PartinG apparently has been watching those Haas games. There you go. Rapidly expands towards the fourth base as well. Maybe not as fast as Haas would, but... Yeah, blinking into the main base is a commitment, right? Because if you lose those Stalkers, you lose the game. Okay. So there we go. Stimpack is coming up. Combat shield is coming up as well. And we do see the double upgrades, obviously, in the natural too. So Maru is going to get himself a really nice power spike, right? So all of these upgrades, they will roughly finish up right around the same time, meaning that Maru's units all of a sudden will, like... They're going to be, like, going full Arnold, okay? They'll be going on steroids and all kinds of crazy stuff just to make themselves more powerful. It's quite a dangerous moment, I guess. Well, we do have the blink up right now into the main base. All right. We need a good name for Marines that just finish up like 17 units. They're gonna go full Rambo. Terminator style. I don't know. I'm open to suggestions. Let me know down below in the comment section of this video what we should call Marines when they finish up 1-1 combat shield, Stimpack, and everything else. Because it's actually quite common. I feel like there needs to be a name for these bad boys. What's weird about it, though, is that all of a sudden, watch these Marines, right? They're gonna find a shield in their back pocket. In like 2 seconds. Here we go. Oh, hey, shield! Where did that come from? Anyway, Stalkers blink into the main base as well. Those came from the third. A little bit awkward right now because Maru actually is trying to get the units into the main base. He just walked them over to the third. Big Stalk, or sorry, Zealot warp in over here as well inside of the main. And it means that, yeah, it means that PartinG, I mean, was that good of a fight? I'm not sure. He's going to be able to kill at least a couple of SCVs, but he loses quite a lot of units there in the process as well. I might end up losing those Stalkers as well. Concussive Shells is done. Yep. Okay, Blinky boy. We'll stay alive. Okay, so 4 siege tanks here in total. Those are the main units to look for, obviously, and the SCVs. I guess it's fine. I guess it's more than fine as well, considering this Protoss player hasn't just been sitting on 3 bases, right? He's got the 4th base now basically already saturated. He's going to be able to go for the Nexus. Sorry, bad joke. But he's going to be able to go for the next Nexus very soon as well if he wants to. Oh, Storm Drop does end up losing the Prism there. And I think 2 High Templar as well inside of the Prism. Maybe the 3rd one actually ended up going down as well. I don't know if it was full. Regardless, PartinG getting himself quite a lot of value at the same time. Once again, a big Zealot warp in inside of the main base. PartinG not making the most efficient trades over here. But he is definitely, yeah, using the fact that he's got that nice economy to his advantage. This map is difficult to push on, though. If you're parting here, like, can you really move up towards this high ground with this many, like, Widow Mines and a couple of siege tanks? Like, we know exactly how much there is, but obviously for him, it's more of a guess. I don't know. You can always blink across, I guess, with those units as well. He's, by the way, been in his opponent's face ever since, like, the 2-minute mark. At least that's what it feels like. Maybe 3 minutes, but he's been here for a little while. There's the fifth Nexus as well going up. Extended thermal lens is being researched. Man, what a guy. That's like the 3rd observer I've seen go. Okay, 2nd observer I've seen go down. Gotta need to keep those observers alive. Alright. This time around, okay, that Zealot Warpin is not gonna finish. Maru manages to shut that one down. I think finally the man can breathe, okay? He shut down the observers. He shut down the Warp Prism. He's got himself 3 bases up and running. And obviously his army is looking really quite menacing as well. It's just that I don't know if he's going to be able to push out here anytime soon. Yeah, instead what he does is he goes for it now for the 4th base. Oh, hallucinated Colossus over here as well. Okay, well at this point, yeah, Maru must realize that Marine is taking very little damage. So the Colossus here is it's just going to be a fake. Maybe it's going to make the real Colossus a little bit more terrifying, though. Although, wait. He's getting the extended thermal lens upgrade really early on, but then he goes straight into Disruptors. It's a little bit funky. Extended thermal lens is an expensive upgrade, so usually you don't see it without Colossus, but... Okay. Good control there. Yeah, so even though it's difficult to push up this ramp on Romanticide, right? Like, fighting 3 bases is really quite difficult. PartinG doesn't really need to because he's got himself 5 Nexi. He can do whatever he likes. Double Stargate comes up as well. He's just getting the range and speed upgrade. Like, he's getting all of the upgrades that he wants. It's like Christmas morning right now if you're a Protoss player. You can just build whatever you like. You do still have to respect this Terran army, though. This Terran army definitely packs a punch. Maru right now making his unit composition a little bit more sophisticated by adding in the Ghost, of course. Ghost really nice against Archons and also High Templar and Sentries and all that. I mean, they're good against all Protoss units. Securing the 4th base is going to be a little bit tricky. But I mean, Maru can definitely send this command center down below and morph it into a planetary. He scans the main base right now. He's looking for that Stargate transition, which he accidentally scouts right now with 2 Hero Marauders that just walk across the map. I kind of dig it. Fleet Beacon immediately starts up as well. But there's already 7 photon cannons. Even if you move down this ramp, can you really do that much? I don't know. Okay. This Terran army is terrifying, man. Like, if you look... It's terrifying. Sorry. It's terrifying. There's a very scary amount of Terran out on this map here, despite the fact that I feel that Maru has been, yeah, forced to sit back for a long time. Okay. Warp Prism does finish its warp in, so that's something. Maybe it can help out this warp in, that is. So this warp in over here can maybe help out. Create a bit of a distraction to prevent the 4th from coming up. Maru! Oh! This is what those Zealot warp-ins do, right? Believe it or not, these these pro-gamers are still humans. I was gonna say these humans are still pro-gamers, but that makes less sense. A couple of Zealots there get nipped as well in the butt. Planetary is gonna finish up pretty soon. 15 SCVs, though, already going down. Okay. Yeah, okay. So even though Maru made the best of this scenario here, this is definitely still PartinG in this driver's seat, right? Maru is trying to take back control, but he loses the 4th base. Oof. This is how dicey this entire game has been, though. It took until the, I would say, like 13-minute mark or so for Maru to make a critical error. But when it eventually happens, the game ends pretty much right away. That's rough. Okay. Game number 2 takes place on 2,000 atmospheres LE. Looks like it's actually going to be a 12 pylon right here from PartinG. Not starting up a probe right here at the very beginning of the game. It looks like this is once again becoming a little bit more popular. So it just shaves a little bit of time, right? Off of whatever timing attack you have in mind. So usually it goes pylon into gateway, into cybercore, and then into whatever tech Protoss wants to go for, right? And obviously, if you start up the pylon right at the beginning of the game, as soon as possible, you can go for whatever attack you want to a little bit quicker. Now, it just shaves a couple seconds here and there. It's not that big of a difference. But what you gotta keep in mind is that at this level, Obviously, Maru wants to make... Say it's a Dark Templar opener, right? Maru wants to get his detection out at the last possible moment. You'll notice this especially in Zerg versus Protoss, where Zerg is going up, say, against the Dark Templar build. They will try and start up Spore Crawlers as late as possible so that drone will be able to mine for a little bit longer before it turns into a Spore Crawler, right? It's very common for that to be the case, and if you can shave just a couple seconds off, sometimes you may accidentally obtain the victory. Second probe, once again, probe once again moving across the map. No second pylon inside of the main base yet, so I think the second pylon is going to be on the other side once more, which I kind of like. It's just that Maru seems to be really on point with his early game defense. Now, this is very, very close to the Terran's base, and I can only imagine this is going to be one build, and it's going to have to be that Void Ray shenanigans, right? He's got himself a lot of gas already. He's going to go even for a Zealot right now. 2 probes and gas for that one for now. Even cutting a couple workers here just so he can start up everything right at once. And there it is. Stargate comes up. Usually you need to make like 2... Oof, it gets scouted. Yeah. You need to make like 2 shield batteries here as well. Zealot is going to move across the map here too. So this is going to be some proxy shenanigans. If you're a Terran player, I mean, I haven't seen this build too much recently. I know it's kind of lost popularity, not because it's not strong. I think if you're a ladder hero, this is the kind of build that just wins you games automatically. But the pro-level Terran players have gotten really good at defending this kind of shenanigans. So it takes a very specific response. For what I've seen, it seems to be mostly based around Cyclones and then sometimes also some Vikings. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're going to be seeing a tech lab here in a little bit from Maru. But double shield battery right here at the front. Void Ray starts up. You can even transition towards Tempest as well. Basically, 3 Tempests can one-shot everything that Terran seems to have. So, yeah, this is going to be a hyper-aggressive game right here from PartinG. So, obviously, this Void Ray, right? It can, start attacking that bunker here really conveniently while simultaneously being healed by the shield batteries on the low ground. So that's the real strength of this build. And a lot of Terran players have been saying, oh my god, shield batteries, they should start at like 50 energy rather than like... It doesn't really matter too much. It seems like the top level guys are okay against this sort of build, although... you can see once again, it's all very, very close. Okay, Starport comes up in the back of the mineral line. So far, this seems like a really clean defense right here for Maru, although he did hit a bit of a supply block here. The Cyclone production here is the most important for sure. Love this, by the way. The Adept right there providing a little bit of vision as well. Just checking out what's going on. Dealing a little bit of damage. Okay. Bunker will end up going down here. There's the Cyclone upgrade too. Yeah, you need to be so cautious if you're Terran, because losing a depot can also be the end of the game very quickly. So far, this doesn't seem to be too bad, though. You cannot lose any of the Cyclones, by the way. Like, the Cyclones are absolutely critical. Now, already, look at that. Once again, we have a Blink follow-up here coming up from PartinG. So PartinG, rather than transitioning towards Tempests, which seems to be quite popular, yeah, he's just going to go straight into his beloved Blink upgrade. But so far, the defense here has looked pretty solid. It's interesting how, like, usually when a new cheese is made, right? When a new cheese is molded, usually players will go absolutely all out with trying to deal as much damage as possible. But then Terran players in this particular instance will get better at defending, right? So, Protoss players right here, I mean, he's trying to trigger the full defense right here from Maru, but he's only really committing to a relatively small amount of units here. This is really not that big of a commitment from PartinG at all. I like this, though. Rather than going for a Viking, we see a Medevac loaded up with Marines, which is... Yeah, I like it a lot, because obviously this is gonna... There's nothing at home, right? Like, there's nothing. Warp Gate's not even done yet. He's actually very late on Warp Gate. Maybe he forgot researching it. Ugh, looks like a Void Ray ends up falling here as well. This is gonna be a disaster. He's got nothing at home. Like, well, he's got 1 Stalker. Sorry, Stalker. I didn't mean to call you nothing. That's a little rude of me, but I'm just saying, I've got a feeling that those Marines will do just fine. No Stimpack on them. He's already going to salvage the bunker. Viking over here as well. Is it going to scout the gateway? I don't think it will. It sees the probe, but I don't know if he saw that. Anyways. You can even go after, like, the pylon if you want to, right? Ay. Do you just attack? Yeah, I think you just target fire probes, don't you? Anyways, it doesn't really matter. There's already so much damage being done. At the same time, on the other side of the map, this Terran army is cleaning all of this up as well. Void Ray still available, but it was on its way back home to try and help defend. 12 workers end up going down. This cheese gets shut down. Maru, once again, shows us why he's Maru. Like, he's so calm and collected in his early game defense. It's ridiculous. I've not really seen Maru die to cheese in a long time. Like, that previous game, I mean, he took a disruptor to the face there after the Zealot warp in, right? But the margin for error, you're always on a razor's edge, right? Like, the margin for error in StarCraft 2 is tiny. Maybe even a little bit too small. I mean, it's very explosive. I guess especially disruptors are very explosive. But you can imagine that, you know, this guy's good. It's very impressive. Not a Viking over here as well. It was meant to, like, kill anything else and scout. Gonna be able to target fire down a couple of workers. Oh my god. Well, it's gonna trigger, I think, an all-in. Yeah, there we go. Stalkers blink into the main base. Provided with the high ground vision right there by that Void Ray. Stalker at the front as well will be taken care of. Is there gonna be enough, though, for Maru to actually defend this? I'm so busy complimenting Maru here that I'm looking at this Protoss army, and it's actually looking quite menacing. Yeah, I think there's enough. Siege tank gets into a juicy spot as well. Another tank is just about to spawn. And I've got a feeling, yep, that is pretty much all she wrote. Nice game right there for Maru. Next up, we find ourselves on Oxide. I've, by the way, heard a couple of different pronunciations of the name Maru. I always feel like it's Maru, but I've heard people say Maru, right? Put the emphasis on the U at the end, Maru. I've heard Maru. I don't know. I think it's just Maru. That's what I always heard back in the day. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I don't know. I've said this many times before, but I remember whenever I think of Maru, I always think of like that very first GSL Code S way back in 2010. And Maru managed to qualify for that one. Now, I don't really know exactly how old he is right now. Let me see if I can find it. Maru, so basically Maru was already in the GSL Code S, the highest level tournament back in 2010. Now, obviously, the game wasn't that high level, but he's currently 23 years old. Isn't that crazy? Oh, so sick. Yeah, so it says he's well known for being the youngest GSL player of all time, winning his first televised game at the age of 13. That is pretty nuts. Man, what was I doing when I was 13? I wasn't winning tournaments on television, I can tell you that much. Anyways. Couple of probes pulled away from the main base as Maru's like, you know what? You've been in the driver's seat of every single one of these games so far. All 2 of them. Yeah. Let me put down an NG Bay over here. This may actually trigger an all-in from Protoss, though, because I've seen that happen many times as well, but I guess actually Maru's fine playing against all-ins. So all you need to do, guys, is figure out the smaller details of every single one of the Protoss openers that they can go for, and then respond to all of them slightly differently. That's all you need to know. You just need to deal with very limited intel, like, for example, seeing the timing right there of the second gas geyser and the nexus, and seeing the pylon on the other side. And then you need to make all of your little decisions from there. So you don't start up your command center too early, but also not too late, because if you start it up too early, you die, but if you start it up too late, you also die. Playing Terran at a high level is easy. Alright. Factory comes up. Not too surprising here, obviously. Now we're just going to start bumping out those Marines 2 at a time. Looks like we have a bit more of a macro-focused start here, right? Nothing too out of the ordinary here. PartinG doesn't have any gas right now to start up a tech structure either. Yeah, it looks like it actually did kind of work. Like, it did throw him off guard there for a little bit. I mean, he starts up a Stalker here as well. After that, Adept. It means that, like, I guess it's a Twilight Council again. But it means that the Twilight Council is going to be a little bit later. Well, he has the gas for it right now. He could. He's not starting up anything. Maybe it is going to be a Stargate then. No, it's going to be a Twilight. Okay. It's a weird Twilight timing right now, though. So, Twilight is 100 gas. But he built it at like 150 gas. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe PartinG can be thrown off a little bit. Alright. Anyways, yeah, so Twilight and Robo here. The golden duo. The Tom and Jerry. Wait, no, that's not a very good duo. I mean, they're a good duo, but not really getting along very well. Twilights and Robos do get along very well. Siege tank comes up as well. And you can see Maru is just always sitting so defensively out on the map, right? Very, very rock-solid Terran player. He doesn't really seem to take a whole lot of damage here, ever. It's kind of nuts. I've seen so many Terran players over the years just die to, like, little basic timing attacks, and he's just, yeah, not doing that. Alright, so once again, we have the Blink upgrade coming up. PartinG finishes up the Robo facility too, so he can go for his Observer. Observer obviously kind of necessary, because he doesn't know if it's going to be a Widowmine follow-up or something else. Anyways, all of those Marines has been pumping out. You can definitely push as well without Stimpak and Combat Shield. Couple of SCVs are now pulled away as well. Okay. We have a nice little attack right here from Maru. And obviously this map has lots of little siege tank positions that are really good. Now luckily here for PartinG, it's not a quick third Nexus. That would be nuts. He should have enough production, I think, to deal with this. Especially once Blink is done. But he doesn't know about this push until right now. Oh, a little bit of... Oh, yeah. You don't need prisms. You don't need prisms, guys. Just use a medevac. It's easy. Okay, shield battery over here, though. Battery overcharge is going to be absolutely needed. Okay, he's trying to micro the Stalkers back into the range right there of the shield battery. This wall up here that he created from to help deal with, like, Hellions and all that. It's going to bite him in the butt a little bit, right? Prism is coming up here. Blink is going to finish up very soon as well, but this is going to be kind of tricky. Yeah, this is not looking so good. Okay, so the Prism is going to come out. Blink is finishing up in 15. No, it's not going to... Oh, my God. He doesn't actually get the Prism out. That's the downside of making this wall. Yeah, this low ground over here is so painful. Maru even now rubs salt in the wound right there by starting up a bunker. PartinG decides to blink around here, so he's trying to create a bit of a surround, but the problem is that he's lost the gateways in the production right here at the front. Is he going to be able to blink? You will blink on top of the siege tanks. First siege tank end up going down. Second siege tank also gets picked off. So that's at least something, and that should make the cleanup here a little bit easier. But already, so much damage here is being done. Alright. Yeah, so now all of a sudden, right? We're seeing a very similar game. There's a little bit of aggression on the other side of the map as well, apparently. But we're seeing a very similar game from what we had in the previous ones. Except right now, Terran is going to go into the mid-game slightly ahead. Rather than like the other way around. Which is... Well, I guess the game number 2 didn't really have a mid-game. But you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like right now, we're looking at a Terran player that's... already looked very solid, and now he's, yeah, he's even at a slight advantage here as well. Don't lose the Observer. Okay. Anyways, third CC starts up. Third Nexus, though, nowhere to be seen. Which kind of indicates to me that PartinG may very well want to think about going for an all-in here. Maybe he can do some magical micro. Yeah. Okay. Blinks forward right here. Grabs the bunker at the very least, so that's something. Stalker. Ooh, one of them is so low. Grabs another unit over there as well. Okay. He's making the best of this, man. These Stalkers are getting insane value. Yeah. Look at the individual Blink Stalker micro. Very nice. SCV's pulled away from Mineral Line. Man, never count this guy out. I don't think a single Stalker died there in that little engagement, and he's got himself quite a few units. It's just that siege tank count is slowly growing, right? And we're going to go up to 4. Love the positioning right here as well of these structures. I mean, look at this, man. How are you going to break this? How are you going to break the siege tank line? I think the third one may very well go over there, or... doesn't really matter. Like, look at this siege tank. So tucked away as well. Yeah, the Sim City here is wonderful. Alright. Well, that allows him, I guess, to now go in for a bit of a push over here at the front. No more threats in the main base, though. And then there's still an observer over here on the left, so you can always use that one too, but... are they just staring each other down? Is this like one of those Western movies? Then they both start firing at the same time. A little bit of a standoff over there. Anyways. Third Nexus is finished. So at the very least, PartinG is not forced to go completely all in here. So that's something. Nicely done. Man, the guy's still so dangerous. I was kind of hyping up Maru there, but the fact that he got so much value out of this group of stalkers is nuts. I think every single one of us would have probably lost it, and, you know. We'd be sitting there, smiling stupidly at our non-existent army. That's me anyway, whenever I'm there. I'm like, okay, Lowko, all you gotta do is just channel your inner PartinG, and it'll go perfectly. Don't worry about it. It's a lot of stalkers, man. They can kill a command center pretty easily. Okay. Oh, the entirety of the Terran army right now on the low ground. Maybe intercept the medevacs. That was very close. There's one stalker over here a little bit awkwardly on the low ground. Now though, the siege tanks are indeed left by themselves. Okay. Well, that target firing wasn't great. Oh my god. Yeah, okay. That target firing was not great. All of a sudden, I mean, that's a lot of damage being done there. That Raven also helping out. Did the Raven get picked off, actually? Yeah, it did. But the Stalkers now also a little bit misrallied. Okay, well, that was looking really hot there for a little bit. I mean, maybe this medevac, or sorry, that War Prison with the 2 High Templar in it can also do something. But Maru, he knows what's going on, man. He even saw the... Oh, my God. Maru, you're so freaking good. Widowmine's in a good position as well. Most of these zealots will end up getting picked off, and I'm pretty sure, unless he gets the Golden Storm. Okay, this is pretty good. Yeah, unless he gets, like, the perfect... No, even if you get the perfect storm, it doesn't really matter. I don't think there's way too much Terran at this point in the game. Marauders are stimming forward together with Marines, Medevacs, and Mines. Basically all the units that start with the letter M. That's the only decision that Maru needs to make right now. If it starts with an M, he's making it. Yeah, there it is. GG is cold. And with that, Maru obtains the victory with a 2-1 advantage. I hope you enjoyed watching this series. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. It takes about 1 second, but it may very well get this video picked up by the YouTube algorithm. And if you really enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. For now, though, thank you very much for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile, and I'll see you once again in the next one.